Let me tell you a story about a man who changed the course of history with a single idea. It was 1908, and a young journalist named Napoleon Hill was given an assignment that would define his entire life. He was asked to interview Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, the richest man in the world at that time. Hill was nervous. He was just a nobody, a young man from the hills of Virginia with no money, no connections, and no special talent. But Carnegie saw something in him. He saw a burning curiosity, a hunger for knowledge, and a willingness to work harder than anyone else. Carnegie sat Hill down and told him something that would blow his mind. He said, "I built my fortune by surrounding myself with men who knew how to think, but I want to do something bigger. I want to give away my secret. I want to give the secret of wealth to the entire world, and I want you to be the one to do it." Napoleon Hill was stunned. Carnegie offered him a deal that sounded like a fantasy. He would introduce Hill to the most successful men in America, the titans of industry, the inventors, the politicians, the visionaries. Hill would interview them, study them, and distill their secrets into a single formula. And Carnegie would fund the entire project. There was only one catch. Hill would get no pay. He would have to survive on his own while spending 20 years of his life interviewing over 500 of the wealthiest and most influential people on Earth. Napoleon Hill accepted without hesitation. 20 years later, he emerged with a philosophy so powerful, so timeless, that it has sold over 100 million copies worldwide and continues to change lives to this very day. That book is Think and Grow Rich, and it is not a book about money. It is a book about the power of the human mind. Now, let me tell you the most important thing you need to understand about this book. The title is a trap. It's a brilliant, seductive trap designed to pull you in. Everyone wants to think about growing rich, but that is not the point of the book. Napoleon Hill discovered that wealth is a byproduct. It is a side effect. The real treasure is the transformation of the self. He found that the men who built the great fortunes of America, men like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and Andrew Carnegie, all had a few things in common. They had a burning desire, a clear vision, and an unshakable faith in their ability to achieve that vision. They did not wait for opportunities. They created them. They did not accept defeat. They used failure as a stepping stone. They were not geniuses. They were ordinary men who had discovered the extraordinary power of their own minds. And Napoleon Hill wrote the instruction manual for how to tap into that power. The first and most critical principle is the burning desire. Not a wish, not a hope, not a casual, "It would be nice if I were rich." A burning desire is a specific, obsessive, all-consuming passion for a definite goal. Think about it like a fire. A small flame can be blown out by a gentle breeze. But a raging inferno, a wildfire, can consume an entire forest. Most people have a small flame. They say they want to be successful, but they don't really mean it. They aren't willing to sacrifice. They aren't willing to be uncomfortable. They aren't willing to fail. But the men who built the modern world had a wildfire inside them. Thomas Edison had a burning desire to bring light to the world. He failed 10,000 times before he found the right filament for the light bulb. 10,000 times. Most people would quit after one failure. But Edison was possessed by his desire. He didn't view his failures as failures. He viewed them as steps in the process. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That is the mindset of a person with a burning desire. They are not afraid of the process. They are not afraid of the pain. They are simply moving toward their goal, one step at a time, no matter what. Napoleon Hill insisted that you must write down your burning desire. You must be specific. You must put a time limit on it. You must read it aloud, twice a day, morning and night. Why? Because the conscious mind is weak. It is easily distracted. It is influenced by fear and doubt. But the subconscious mind is a vast, powerful force. When you program the subconscious with a burning desire, it goes to work night and day, finding ways to achieve that desire. It is like a guided missile. It locks onto the target and does not stop until it hits it. But you have to feed it the target. You have to be crystal clear about what you want. Vague goals produce vague results. A burning desire produces a burning outcome. This is not some new age fantasy. This is a neurological fact. Your brain is goal-seeking. It is wired to move in the direction of the dominant thought. If you constantly think about failure, you will fail. If you constantly think about success, you will succeed. It is the law of the mind. You become what you think about all day long. The second principle is faith, but not faith in a religious sense. Faith, in the context of this book, is a state of mind. It is the absolute conviction that you will achieve your goal. You have to visualize yourself already in possession of your desire. You have to feel it. You have to act as if it has already happened. This is the cornerstone of the law of attraction, long before it became a buzzword. Napoleon Hill understood that the subconscious mind does not know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. If you can imagine yourself as a millionaire, feeling the joy, the relief, the freedom, your subconscious mind will accept that as reality, and it will begin to attract the people, the resources, and the opportunities necessary to make that reality manifest in the physical world. This is not magic. It is aligning your inner state with your outer goal. If you are full of doubt and fear, you will attract doubt and fear. If you are full of confidence and certainty, you will attract confidence and certainty. The world mirrors your inner state. It is a law as reliable as the law of gravity. But let's get practical for a moment. There is a third principle that is often overlooked, and it is the key to making all of this work. Specialized knowledge. Napoleon Hill was very clear that general knowledge is not useful. Most people are drowning in general knowledge. They know a little bit about everything and nothing about anything. He argued that to achieve great wealth, you must have specialized knowledge in your chosen field. But it doesn't have to be your own knowledge. You can hire experts. You can partner with people who have the knowledge you lack. This is what Andrew Carnegie did. He didn't know how to make steel. He knew how to organize people who knew how to make steel. He knew how to create a system. He knew how to bring the right minds together. This is where the concept of the Mastermind group comes in. Hill discovered that every great success story involved a group of minds working together in harmony. The mastermind is a coordinated effort of two or more people who work toward a definite purpose. The collective intelligence of a mastermind is far greater than the sum of its parts. When you align your thoughts with other like-minded individuals, you create a synergy that is unstoppable. Think about the entrepreneurs of today, the people who start unicorn companies, billion-dollar businesses. They all have a mastermind. They have mentors. They have advisors. They have a network of people who challenge them, support them, and provide the specialized knowledge they lack. The lone wolf dies in the wilderness. The person who builds a pack, a tribe, an army, thrives. Napoleon Hill understood this nearly 100 years ago. He said that no one person has enough intelligence, willpower, or resources to achieve great success alone. You need the energy of others. You need the accountability. You need the friction and the support. The Mastermind principle is one of the most underutilized tools in the modern world. People are scared to ask for help. They are scared to be vulnerable. They think they have to do it all themselves. But that is a path to burnout and mediocrity. If you want to grow rich, you need to grow your circle. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Failure. Everyone is terrified of failure. But Napoleon Hill viewed failure as a blessing in disguise. He said that every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Think about that for a second. The seed of a greater benefit is buried inside the failure. It is waiting to be planted. But most people look at the failure and they only see the failure. They don't dig for the seed. They don't ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" They just give up. And that is the only true failure. The only failure is the decision to quit. The only failure is the refusal to try again. Henry Ford went bankrupt 5 times before he founded the Ford Motor Company. 5 times. He lost everything, but he didn't quit. He learned, he adapted, and he eventually built the company that put the world on wheels. Abraham Lincoln lost 8 elections. He suffered a nervous breakdown. He was defeated over and over and over again, but he never stopped believing in his vision. He became the greatest president in American history. Why? Because he understood that failure is temporary. Failure is fertilizer. It makes the soil richer for the future harvest. Napoleon Hill also spoke about the importance of persistence. He said that persistence is the 8th wonder of the world. It is the difference between the person who succeeds and the person who just talks about succeeding. Persistence is not a character trait that you are born with. It is a muscle that you build. You build it by pushing through the resistance. You build it by taking action even when you don't feel like it. You build it by staying committed when the excitement wears off. The initial burst of enthusiasm always fades. That is normal. What separates the winners from the losers is what they do when the enthusiasm fades. The winners keep going. They go through the motions. They show up. They do the boring work. And eventually, the enthusiasm returns. But this time, it is deeper, stronger, and more authentic. It is a self-sustaining cycle. There is another principle that is deeply relevant to our modern age, the principle of decision. Hill found that successful people are decisive. They make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people are indecisive. They make decisions slowly and change them quickly. In today's world, we are bombarded with options. We have infinite choices, and this abundance of choice is paralyzing. We are scared to commit. We are scared to close the door on other possibilities. But the person who cannot commit to a single path will wander aimlessly and achieve nothing. You have to have the courage to decide. You have to have the courage to burn your boats. When Cortez landed in the New World, he burned his ships. He told his men, "We are not going back. We either succeed or we die." That kind of commitment creates a psychological pressure that forces you to succeed. It removes the escape route. It removes the safety net. And when the safety net is gone, you find resources inside yourself that you never knew existed. You find a creativity, a resilience, a power that is hidden behind the comfort zone. So, let me ask you a question. What is your burning desire? Not what your parents want for you, not what society tells you to want. What do you truly, deeply, obsessively want? Have you written it down? Have you given it a deadline? Have you created a plan? Have you surrounded yourself with a mastermind? Have you made the decision to commit, no matter what? If you haven't, you are just dreaming. You are just wishing. And wishing is a form of poverty. It is the poverty of action. It is the poverty of courage. It is the poverty of commitment. Napoleon Hill wrote this book to wake you up. He wrote it to tell you that the power is inside you. It has always been inside you. The gold is in the mine. The seeds are in the soil. The thoughts are in the mind. But you have to dig. You have to plant. You have to think. And you have to think with a purpose. Think and grow rich. It is not just a title. It is a command. It is a call to arms. It is a declaration of war on the mediocrity that is holding you back. The world is full of people who are waiting for a lottery ticket. They are waiting for a bailout. They are waiting for a handout. But you are not one of them. You are the architect of your own future. You are the painter of your own canvas. You are the writer of your own story. And you have everything you need right now to create the life you desire. All you need is the vision, the faith, the persistence, and the action. The rest will follow. The riches will follow. Because when you think and grow rich, you are not just growing your bank account. You are growing your spirit. You are growing your legacy. You are growing into the person you were always meant to be. That is the true wealth. That is the ultimate prize, and it is yours for the taking. So take it. Take it now. Don't wait. The world is waiting for you to show up. Show up as the person who knows what they want, who is not afraid to fail, and who will never, ever stop until they have it. That person is unstoppable. That person is you.